going to talk about lube. Lube, lube, and lube. Why do you want to use lube? I don't know if you ever had struggles with sex, especially as a woman. When you get older, you get a bit drier. And even if you don't, if you're young and fit and wet all over the place, I still would recommend to use lube, because lube is just gonna make everything so much smoother and softer and much more comfortable. It's easier to get in any hole, and it's not just for anal sex. I never thought about it, and I wish I did. I used to be on birth control when I was younger, and that also makes your pussy less wet, drier. And I wish I would have known about lube. I only found out about lube when I was 30 or something. I wish I would have known earlier. Now, besides the fact that it's going to make sex a lot easier, it's not just for the sex. No, that's not true. It's not just for the sex. It is for the sex, but it's not just for sex with a person. It's also very good if you're doing sex with yourself. I found out when my master let me edge for like forever that using lube makes it so much easier, especially, I mean, sometimes he lets me edge 100 times on a day. And that means that I have to, that at one point my clit is getting so sensitive, and that is not fun anymore. It's not comfortable. It's getting painful. It's sore. When I use lube, I don't have any of these. It's easier for me to masturbate. It's easier for me to control myself. It's because there is a certain slickness in it. I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can make it wet with my spit, right? But spit is drying up very quickly. Now, water-based lube, because there are different ones. Water-based lube, you can use for a lot longer time. Not as long as silicone-based. Silicone-based is for the long sessions. You will want to have the silicone-based lube. Because with the water-based lube, water-based, by the way, doesn't mean that it's based on water, but it means that it's easy dissolvable in water. So it means that it's easier to take off. It doesn't taste as much like lube. This is, I mean, it tastes a little bit sweet. There's nothing wrong with it. I can take it. If my master lubed his cock before he slips it in, and then he lets me lick it, it's totally fine. I'm okay with licking my fingers with it. So I'm using this for everything. I just found out today that you also use it if you want to put on a chastity device. It's also a good idea to use lube. I didn't know that, but I learned something new as well today. So lube is for everything to make it smoother, easier, more comfortable, slippery. Now, I talked a bit already about the difference between water-based and silicone-based. The point with silicone-based is that it's not so good to use on toys. It might make the toys, because toys, especially on, I mean, on metal toys, it's not a problem, but on silicone toys, if you use silicone lube, it might just interfere with each other. So I wouldn't recommend to use silicone lube on silicone toys, but for other toys, it's fine. Especially for long sessions, but usually the water-based lube will do. Now, I brought a few different ones. This is my all-time favorite. It's a medicinal one, and you can buy it in any grocery shop, even probably. But the good thing is for this one, it's quite cheap. Yeah, you can just buy it pretty much everywhere. It's sterile when you buy it, so I like that one as well, and it tastes good, so it's very affordable. I used this since the moment that I found out about lube. I used this one, and I tried several other ones, and this one is just the one that I like the most. Now, the silicone one has another purpose. That's the word. The silicone one has another purpose. If you have latex clothing, you can make it nice and shiny with a bit of silicone lube on it. You just drip a little bit of the lube on it and you rub it over it, and it just starts to shine. Pay attention that you need to clean it afterwards. So you rub it in before you go to a party or before you go for a scene or anything. And after that, I would recommend to take it off. But silicone is wonderful. It makes it very shiny. So this is actually also something that I didn't know for a long time. So, well, main recommendation, use lube for everything, especially this is for masturbating, not just for girls, for guys as well. Especially if you're doing it a lot, it's so much easier if you use a bit of lube with it. I use it for my toys. I use it for insertions. So for if we have sex, we usually use it a bit too. It's not necessary often, but the point is that if you don't use it, especially for anal, if you don't use it, you might break something, and that will destroy most of the fun, doesn't it? So I think lube is essential in any kit, so you need that. Now I brought this one too. This is a special one. It's especially for fisting. This is one of our fetishes, so that's why we have it. The point with this one is we stopped using it, and there's a good reason for it. This one is numbing. It's made for, I mean, it's for people who really want to get fisted, but they find that it hurts. But the point is, if your body hurts, your body is trying to say you something. It's tell you to stop. And I want to hear that signal. So that's why I am very careful with this one. I do use it because I find it a waste to just throw it away. But I will use it on something that I know is going to get in easy, and that I already tried, for instance, and that I'm totally okay with, and that I know it won't break anything. Because it's very, even if you have like in your ass and you put something in and you don't feel that there is something breaking there, and it can be very small, just skin, huh? I'm not talking about muscles or something, but just skin, and it breaks, and you don't see it on time, and you don't feel it on time, and you continue, you can like, it can be infected, or it can just get worse, and that's what you really don't want. So I would recommend to never buy this. If you need to buy this because you want to get fisted, just practice a little bit longer, because you will get there, but it will take practice, and then you will know what your body can handle. And if your body cannot handle it, don't overrule it with something like this. So take this, please, for good advice. And well, I'm pretty sure lube is going to improve your play. So have fun and play with passion.